Sean McMahon whipping that one in towards Eamon Taff. Broken down, Taff going after it himself. Looking at the sticks, blocked down well there by John Brown. Brown, of course, a brother of Richard Brown, who played here in the 1990 Munster final against Tipperary. Here's Sean McMahon. McMahon, man of the match in 95 in the All-Ireland final. Jamesy O'Connor, the hero all that particular season. Inside this time towards Alan Markham. Hasn't really shown up at all so far in this game. And instead it's Fergal Ryan. First touch let him down. Good ground stroke out towards Pat Ryan. Challenged by Colin Lynch. Good tussle that between Ryan and Lynch. In towards Alan Brown. Swept inside towards Joe Dean. A race for possession, and Liam Doyle unable to take it up. Shawnee Farrell's in there. Awkward kind of character to dispossess against Brian Quinn. Quinn trying to get it away. There was a bit of pushing, and the referee pointing out that it's going to be a free out to Clare. Anthony Daly having a word there. And the referee has penalised Cork some yardage there because they didn't retreat quickly enough. Mark Landers and Sean O'Halpine have switched wings, and Landers is now back at right half back, marking PJ O'Connell. Sean O'Halpine across on the far side. His man is David Ford. It's captain Anthony Daly here. Dropped in towards Niall Gilligan. Ford is alongside him, doesn't need him. Little block on that one by O'Halpine. Next it's Brown there against Taff. Comes back out towards the Cork half back line. Picked up here by Sean O'Halpine. Not quite on the same wavelength as Pat Ryan, however. It's Taff who tracked back splendidly. This is Lynch, Colin Lynch. Inside towards Taff, there as well is the number 15, Niall Gilligan, and that has gone over the bar. A second point by Niall Gilligan. There was slack marking there in that Cork defence. It was in between the full back line and half back line, and they were exposed, and now once again just two between them. As we wait for the puck out, the referee has had something brought to his attention by the linesman Johnny MacDonald, and he's going across to have a word with a few of the Clare players. PJ O'Connell there, and James came across as well to act as peacemaker, but the notebook is out, and it's a booking for the O'Callaghan's Millsman. He takes up his position here at left half forward, being marked by Mark Landers. Ger Cunningham's puck out, dropping into the half back line, missed by Sean McMahon. Liam Doyle trying to prod it away, needing some assistance, but gets there himself in the end. Blocked down by Dean. In comes Morrison next, threatening as always. That's Brian Quinn back there, and in the end lashed in towards the side netting by Alan Brown. Went off a back, and it's gone for a 65, it seems. This is where Clare once again froze momentarily. Quinn was back there facing his own goal, pursued by a couple of players, and the umpire here says, well, he says a 65, but the referee says no, that didn't touch anybody. And in the reprise of that, looked a very good decision. So just about 3 minutes to go to half-time. And there's the switch once again here of David Ford coming across here now, being marked by Sean O'Halpine. Clare making constant changes in personnel. Jamesy O'Connor, little to choose so far. Up as far as Ger Cunningham. Gets away from the danger of Eamon Taff. After that it's David Ford and Niall Gilligan hanging around there. Alan Markham's there as well. And really slack marking at the back. Could have been really penalised, but Mark Landers got it out. Once again, it's Kieran Morrison trying to get that ball forward. Stopped by Liam Doyle. Next, it's Brian Lohan. Lohan likes to come more and more out the field in this particular game. Brian Corcoran lets that one behind. There's a trip, and it's going to be a free into Clare. And if this goes over, there'll be just one between them. So Alan Markham racing back into his full forward position. He is in fact now gone to the top of the right. Jamesy O'Connor, as the sun makes an effort to come out at Semple Stadium, puts it right between the posts. It's just his first point, his first shot on the target from the free, one between the teams, and the champions still firing strongly here in Thurles, 8 points to 7. So even though Cork have suggested that they carry far more threat in this match, it's Clare who've come right back and just a point between the teams. P.G. O'Connell very near the sideline. Johnny McDonald had a good look at that. Ball not over the line. Alan Markham here. Now they come looking for the equaliser. Alan Markham against Fergal Ryan. Almost into a cul-de-sac. A difficult shot to hit in, but it's stopped on the goal line by Ger Cunningham. Man has saved an almost certain point earlier in the match. Anthony Daly scooping that one back towards Sean McMahon. Now they're playing with a bit more understanding, Clare. Showing us just why they're Munster and All-Ireland champions. The hand pass from Ollie Baker, cleverly into Jamesy O'Connor. Is this the levelling up score? It's not. It should have been. And now 6 wides in this first half by Clare. Inside the last minute of the first 35. Concern on the face of JBM and some of the other mentors. Better quality goal chances have come Cork's way at the start of the match and towards the end of this first half. But Clare now coming forward, once again threatening P.J. O'Connell, and that's gone over the bar, and it's the equaliser, and the sides are level for the first time. Much happier sobs, Fergie Toohey in there among some of the others, and now the sides are level. It's 8 points for Clare, 8 points for Cork. This is a bit more like it, you feel. Kieran Morrison. Interesting ball inside there, breaks down. Sean McGrath rolled onto it, and the referee had blown the whistle for a bit of a chop there. But just for a moment there, it looked like Shawnee McGrath might well be into the clear, and that hasn't happened at all in this match, and that is a tribute to Clare's marking, certainly of McGrath. Cork created 13 chances, took 8. Clare created, in fact, more, 16. Interesting statistic. This can give Cork the lead again, and once again it's Joe Dean. From 20 metres out, he makes no mistake. 6 points in all now for Joe Dean. 6 for Dean, 2 for Pat Ryan from frees, 1 from a 65, 1 from Fergal McCormack. And where Clare are concerned, they've got 2 for Ollie Baker. Jamesy O'Connor got 1 from a free, David Ford 1, O'Connell 1, Taff 1, and Niall Gilligan's got 2. And at half-time there's just 1 between them. It is the challengers who are putting it right up as expected to the Munster and All-Ireland champions. The Rebels go in just leading by a point. JBM's team then halfway through in their task to dethrone the favourites from Clare. And at half-time it is Cork 9, Clare 8.
In for this match, 35 minutes to decide it who's going to be in that Munster final. Let's go back.
It's just restarted, Michael. No changes on either team, and now we'll be wondering whether or not Clare have managed to seize the initiative from Cork for the last 15 minutes, as the discussion suggested, and what will transpire here over the next 35 minutes. Jamesy O'Connor then, the man who's in there to test the pace of Brian Corcoran, picked up here by Niall Gilligan. Jim O'Sullivan's after him, trying to get that ball out anyway. It all will do, I'm sure. Kicking it out towards John Brown. That's back in there again. Again, it's David Ford with the chance, and he's put it over the bar, and the sides are level. That's a second for Ford, and it's 9 points each, and the sides level for the second time. Clare with vast experience of championship action in their ranks, even with the 2 newcomers, Brian Quinn and Alan Markham, in. 145 championship appearances by the others before this match. 89 championship appearances by the Cork 15, and Ger Cunningham 48 championship appearances on his own. What will now the Cork response be? This is Mick Daly, chased in midfield there. Sean McMahon going after him. Out to Dean it comes. Cork looking for their first point in the second half. 3 men on him, that frees up 1 man. But McCormack's first touch is not a good one. After him again comes Colin Lynch. That's McCormack with the shot, and he's put it well to the left. 3 wides now in this match. Fergal McCormack, who had a spell playing in the championship up in midfield as well, but happier on the 40. Brian Corcoran was against 2 Clare players that time. Jamesy O'Connor chasing him, so too is Alan Markham. Markham gets in with the block down. Across here, that's Shonagh Halpine. This is Liam Doyle racing for it. Winning it, however, is Kieran Morrison, and that's a sideline ball for Clare. One Clare man who's played for them in the past in Championship and Munster Hurling is Liam Danaher. He's in St Joseph's Ward of the Mater Hospital in Dublin, and I'm sure he's much happier with what he's seen over the last 15 minutes or thereabouts. Now there's a Cork player, Fergal Ryan I think it is, in need of some attention. Number 2 on his back, the man who plays for the Black Rock Club, playing in his 5th Championship game. Con Murphy in to attend to him. One of the best cornerbacks in the land this year. We've seen how efficient he can be against some quite illustrious names, but it looks like there's a need for change. Certainly the rotating hands there of Dr. Con Murphy seem to indicate that. He's limping back into it. And the mentors, I think, feel that there's no point. And Cork are forced to make a change in their full back line. Fergal Ryan from Blackrock going off. And it could be that it'll be Pat Mulcahy from Newton Chandram who'll come in. Or perhaps Derek Barrett might be the one. We're just not quite sure yet. They haven't made that change. So Cork right now are down to 14. Meanwhile, it's Sean McMahon with the hand pass outside. Runs beyond Colin Lynch. Jamesy O'Connor, first touch, not a good one, and the foul then by Mick Daly from Cove. And there's the change, and it's going to be the number 19, Dan Murphy, who's coming in. He was centre half back, of course, with the under-21s and team captain last year as Cork won their 100th title. So Jamesy waits as Cork are forced into making the change. This time he lashes it in straight at Ger Cunningham. His nerve holds, supported there by Diarmuid O'Sullivan. He gets it out only as far as Jamesy O'Connor. Pat Ryan is here for Cork, beating Colin Lynch to it. Quite a tussle, that one. Up towards Joe Dean. Frank Lohan is supported by another wonderful centre half back, Sean McMahon. McMahon down towards Niall Gilligan. Scooped back towards David Ford. The clash of the ash. Gilligan in there. The hand pass. Good awareness outside to Colin Lynch. He's 50 metres out when he hits it, and it's going to the right. And it remains at 9 points apiece. And Clare now with 7 wides. That's the first of the second half. And you can just hear the promptings of the crowd here, really urging their teams on what is a wet and drizzly afternoon. The breeze picks up again, and now it's well and truly supporting Clare for the second 35 minutes. Ollie Baker showing awareness. Sweeping it down into the corner towards Alan Markham. Been marked here by Dan Murphy. Markham gets there. More attuned to the contest, obviously. In towards Taft, being marked by Brown. Jamesy O'Connor steps away wonderfully from danger. That was a lovely sidestep, and that's a terrific score by Jamesy O'Connor. And it's the second time that Clare have got themselves the lead. Or rather, the first time that Clare have got themselves the lead with Jamesy's second point, and it's 10 points to 9. Well, the sidestep made it all possible there in that wonderful score. Here's Shawnee McGrath. He's been disappointing so far. Anthony Daly has marked him well. What possession has come his way? That's out by Brian Lohan. The craftier, more experienced Clare men now beginning to turn the screw and becoming a more dominant force. Niall Gilligan. Diarmuid O'Sullivan behind him. The hand pass comes straight to Brian Corcoran. Knew he was going to run into the challenge of David Ford. And the referee gives Cork the free, even though Clare would protest, I think, that Brian Corcoran held on too long. But it's going to be a Cork free out. They led at half-time by a point, and now almost 6 minutes into the second half, they trail by 1. So hitting into the wind. In towards Alan Brown, who's been catching some good ball, this time using the stick to good effect. Taking himself away there from Brian Lohan, but Lohan is such a crafty fullback. He may have been beaten earlier on, but listen to the cheers from the banner following now as he makes that wonderful clearance. It's a sideline ball for Cork. Daly marking Shawnee McGrath. Mark Landers to take this sideline cut. Landers has come back from knee trouble in the past. That's dropped by Sean McMahon. This time Cork trying to close in on him. Morrison in there. Alan Brown picked up by Pat Ryan. sending one in towards Joe Dean against Frank Lowen. And Lowen goes forward. They say he's pushed, and it's going to be a free out for Clare. Well, for once he was left isolated in there, Joe Dean, bidding to add to the 6 points he scored in the first half, most of them, of course, coming from frees. So Davy Fitzgerald, who made that so important score in the second minute, or so important save rather, in the second minute of this championship match. The free goes towards PG O'Connell, batted out by Mark Landers. Well, it seemed to go off Mark Landers' stick, but Cork are getting the sideline ball. Plenty of promptings, plenty of urgings from the crowd here, estimated to be around 50,000. There's a gentle mist falling from the clouds. Landers misses it. Brian Corcoran put under some pressure, but he responds terrifically well, beating a couple of Clare men to it, but not Colin Lynch. Lynch being chased after by Pat Ryan, steadying himself inside towards Eamon Taff. A rare chance to start a championship match for Taff. The block down there is by John Brown. There's support here from Mark Landers. Landers turning it in towards the forwards again. Frank Lowen breaks it down. Dean's in after him. Brian Lowen comes to his brother's assistance. This wonderful fullback playing it outside towards Liam Doyle. Rated one of the best backlines, I suppose, ever in championship hurling. They clear the line down as far as Eamon Taff. The shoulder comes in from Mark Landers. Taff is 45 metres out, but he's missed the opportunity. Cork are making another change, and they are deciding to bring in Barry Egan. So Barry Egan from the Delaney's club in Dublin Hill in Cork. He's coming into the forward line, and so far I haven't seen who's been replaced. It may well be Kieran Morrison. Yes, Morrison's going. And that's the second time he's come off a championship match against Clare in his career. It's only his third match. Played against Kerry, played against Clare in '95, was replaced then, and he's been replaced again this afternoon. That's Liam Doyle. Like a breath of fresh air, he knocks it back down into the forward line. Taff, there, the recipient of the pass, and Taff gets the score. That's the second one for Eamon Taff, and Clare now beginning to play more and more like the Munster and All-Ireland champions that they are. Clare 11, Cork 9. There's a genuine feeling, I think, in Munster hurling that if Clare come out of this one with their championship intact, they may well go on to claim the Munster title once again against Waterford. That's for another day. Right now, it's Fergal McCormack, half-hitting that one inside. Sean McMahon repelling. Down it goes. Broken by Markham. This is Brian Corcoran. First time getting it forward. Standing back there is Ollie Baker, making sure he wasn't hooped. And that's gone to the left. Meanwhile, Clare are warming up a very familiar figure. The Sparrow is about to come in, it seems. So latest scores and so on, but down here in Thurles, it's time for the Clare management to produce perhaps the ace in the pack. Ger O'Loughlin, the Sparrow, is coming on. PG O'Connell looks like he's going to limp out of this match. Certainly he's been accompanied off. The Sparrow's gone in full forward. Taff's gone to the left, top of the left. They have Gilligan at top of the right. There is so much noise about. Clare with a 2-point lead. Well, some great Clare teams in the past, in the 70s in particular, failed to come by major tests against Cork. But this year, they're looking good once again to hold on to their Munster title. But it's early stages and only 2 between them. And that's a 10th wide now for Clare. It really is very wasteful. It was Alan Markham with that effort. Ger Cunningham pucking this one out. Against the wind towards Shawnee McGrath. Can he get into this match? Has failed to do so far. Clare were very quickly in to challenge him there. Basically, Anthony Daly has just stood back. He's had to beat McGrath very few times. because so little of the ball has come McGrath's way. Clare's skipper to take the sideline cut. Good connection, nicely down towards Niall Gilligan, but it's Brian Corcoran who comes away with it. Look at the number of players after him wearing Clare shirts, 3 and 4 men around him, and he stepped down onto the sideline. The linesman here decides that's McCahill for Tipperary, an old Tipperary team of officials. Sherlock Nan is down along the sideline, Tony Considine as well, playing the game like 16 or 17th men. What an achievement it will be for them if they can take Clare back into another Munster final. Cork with no score in the second half so far, put under pressure once more, and that time it's Dan Murphy gets it out, and it's a great stop by Ger Cunningham. A wonderful save, and it's gone out, and it's gone wide. Well, there were those who said that he let Cork down with 2 late goals the last day. He's giving his critics the answer here. That was a first-class save, as good as any he's made since he made his championship debut against Clare in '81. Niall Gilligan coming so close to the game's first goal. Denied. That's O'Connor. Dan Murphy out first time, the Cork substitute cornerback. Soloing this one away from Niall Gilligan. Kicking it, but kicking it straight to the opposing centre-half back, Sean McMahon. What a clearance back in there towards goalkeeper Ger Cunningham. Making his clearance under pressure from the Sparrow. Great catch by Colin Lynch, what a player he is, towards Jamesy O'Connor. Wonderfully creative player, so much dash and style about him, and so much pace as well. This is in towards Alan Markham, and that's gone over the bar. And this is Clare at their very best. Alan Markham gets his first point. And it's Clare 12, Cork 9. Clare may have been uncertain for the first 15 minutes, but the uncertainty has come from the players wearing the red shirts since then. Cork without a score in the second half, putting pressure on Sean McMahon. Nearly 15 minutes gone in the second half. That's Anthony Daly, defiant as ever, downfield. Gilligan contests, Jamesy O'Connor's in after it, causing far more problems now to Brian Corcoran. That was the case earlier on when Corcoran was marked by other players. Lovely hand pass inside to Gilligan, should be another point. And that's just inside the left-hand post. There's a method and an understanding in this Clare team. Their backs have settled. Their midfield has started to win everything in and around there, and they lead by 13 points to 9. Time and again they can freshen up the forward lines. Time and again they can keep forwards on their toes and keep them out if necessary. But when they come in, they invariably do the business. This is Fergal McCormack. Chased the whole time by David Ford and brought down by Ford, the referee decides. A very furious David Ford disputing that judgment by Willie Barrett. So far in the second half alone, Clare have created 13 chances. Cork have created only 1. There's only 15 and a half minutes gone in the half. That certainly tells an awful lot. And these mentors here are quick to learn the lesson. But have they the subs in their ranks to make a difference? Joe Dean puts it over the bar. Cork finally get a point from that free by Dean. It's his 7th in all. And this supporter here and those in the background will feel there's still hope while there's time. So Dean has put just 3 between them. Older followers, I think, will remember a scoreline something like 13-11 back in the late 70s involving these teams in Munster finals, but then it was Cork. Now it is Clare. Batted forward there by Ollie Baker. That's brilliantly knocked ahead that time. Barry Egan setting up the chance for Shawnee McGrath. Will this be his first point of the day? It will be. The young Glen Rovers player finally gets going, finally gets loose, and finally gives the Cork fans something to cheer about. 2 points in the space of a minute now, and it's 13-11. Well, they're like old friends down there, Shawnee McGrath and Anthony Daly. Davy Fitzgerald pucking it out. Brian Corcoran going across for this. Barry Egan getting away from the challenge. Clare bidding to keep their noses in front. I know of people who haven't been down to Thurles for 9 or 10 years for championship matches, and this is one they wanted to see. The meeting of the All-Ireland and Munster champions Clare and the National League champions Cork. Donal O'Cusack in the background there, sub-goalkeeper to Ger Cunningham. Liam Doyle to take this one. Swept in again towards Taft. Going there first, however, is Sean O'Halpine, partially blocked down by Markham. Won by the Sparrow, Ger O'Loughlin. Taking it by Sean O'Halpine. O'Halpine getting back goal side, supported by John Brown. John Brown from Blackrock comes out, he's fouled, and that's a free out to Cork. In terms of where the fans are, for lying roughly halfway across the field here, everything to the right is Cork support, everything to the left Clare support, and they're making their feelings known. The bruised John Brown wins the free out for Cork. Well, it was a combined effort here with Sean O'Halpine and John Brown to deny the Sparrow, and when Brown took it across here, that's where the Sparrow came across with the stick and caught him in the face. The jeering is against Ger O'Loughlin, and the elbow for his trouble from Diarmuid O'Sullivan. Well, nobody likes to see foul play. Well, whether or not it was absolutely intentional on the Sparrows' point, or that's another point altogether, or the Sparrows' part, I should say. That's a great catch. Clare usually the most sporting of players against the Cork men. That's down there, which Colin Lynch is trying to take clear. Joe Dean was in there as well. Comes back to Pat Ryan on his left-hand side, firing it in there towards Shawnee Farrell, who hasn't been all that effective so far. He's now gone into full forward. Alan Brown has gone to top of the right. But the Clare full backline has settled down. The half backline in particular, with Sean McMahon and Liam Doyle taking a firm grip. It's been in midfield Baker and Lynch who've been the more dominant of the two, and so much of the ball going in there to that Cork backline. Markham swinging this one across. Missed there by Pat Ryan. Alan Markham was the Clare player in there contesting. So everybody pacing up and down the side, such as the tension here. Colin Lynch floating it in. Runs in beyond the last man, who was Niall Gilligan, but stopped by Ger Cunningham. Again showing awareness to link up with Sean O'Halpine, whose first touch let him down, however. Might have made a longer clearance out. Instead it's David Ford towards Taft. Cork get a stick in the way there. McDaly got it down as far as a colleague, and away comes Mark Landers. Ollie Baker chased him the whole time. And the referee is in there to whistle. May throw the ball up with just under 13 minutes, with just under 15 minutes remaining. But a very spirited second half contest. 2 points the margin. That's Cyril Kavanagh, one of Cork's greatest supporters, always wears that Mexican hat. Over there for Cork was Barry Egan. So Jimmy Barry Murphy, Fred Sheehy and Dr. Con Murphy watching on. But the Clare mentors with their early switches, and Ger Loughlin with a broad smile on his face, tense beforehand, must be enjoying it a bit now. In the past he has been denied time and again by some very good Cork teams during the 70s in what was for him a wonderful career, but one which ended up without an All-Ireland medal to his credit. But he's done it as a coach and manager. Liam Doyle ripping that one in beautifully. Jamesy O'Connor fouled by Pat Ryan. That's the 45-metre line. Pat Ryan, who first played in Cork's championship team last year against, or rather this year, in the match against Limerick. This time it's Jamesy O'Connor's free. That's whipped in and over the bar. 3 points for Jamesy O'Connor. And Clare extend their lead to 3 points. A match without goals so far. A couple of goal mud incidents. Good save in the first minute by David Fitzgerald. Good save in the second half by Ger Cunningham. Here's Joe Dean in towards Shawnee McGrath. The shot by McGrath goes sailing over the crossbar, and now he's got a second.